Welcome in, everyone. We'll get started in about 1 or 2 minutes here. We'll let everyone get into the meeting first. All right. It looks like everyone has joined us. So welcome in, everyone. Thanks for joining us for our webinar today. My name is Natalie Davis, and I serve as a program coordinator within Orientation Services at Iowa. I also have a student leader joining me today to help me discuss the transition process. So Caleb, I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself and your role on our team.
Hello, everybody. I'm Caleb. I just finished my third year here at the University of Iowa studying journalism and mass communication. I have also just done my third summer with orientation services as well, and I'm excited to get to the start of my last school year.
Awesome. Thanks, Caleb. So today we'll be covering steps to complete before on Iowa and really before you start classes as a new student at the university. We'll also talk about what happens during on Iowa and how you can become involved. For all of you that have interacted with orientation services throughout the summer, you know that our office also hosts Becoming a Hawkeye in-person orientation programs, SOAR, which is our student online advising and registration, where you met with your academic advisor and registered for classes. And we also are home to two more transition processes. The first one is Success at Iowa, which we'll touch on today, and a first year course that all new students take in on Iowa. Also, this webinar will be recorded, so if you miss any information or you want to revisit the slide deck and some of the QR codes that we present, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel before the end of this week. All right, so some reminders and next steps before starting at the University of Iowa. The first two are in regards to student records and rights that students have as University of Iowa students. So, students, if you want advisors, for example, your academic advisor or a financial aid advisor to be able to talk to your parents and supporters, and are interested in giving them consent to your records, please go to MyUI before the summer ends and create a guest account for your parents and supporters and also sign the student record consent form. Both of these can be found under the student information tab in MyUI. And really, this is just important to fill out if you are interested in giving someone else, your support system, a parent, a guardian in your life, any sort of access to any of your different reports, whether that be grades, transcripts, information about financial aid, and etc. So once again, look at those in MyUI before the semester gets started. Another step to complete is to send in your immunization documents, including your MMR vaccination status. So make sure to send that to Student Health through this website here, studenthealth.uiowa.edu, and then student requirements. That's very important to do before we get started with classes. Additionally, one other thing you need to do is send your official transcripts. So whether these are transcripts from your high school institution where you got your high school diploma, or if you were able to take classes at another institution or college for dual credit courses, you need to send any of those transcripts to the Office of Admissions as soon as possible. If you do have questions about transcripts, please give admissions a call as they kind of handle all things transcript related. Their number is 319-335-3847. Or you can also email them and send them over your transcripts and include any questions that you may have. There are other various checklist items, including like downloading some of our University of Iowa apps, for example, Transit to see the bus schedule, purchasing athletic tickets, and more. So if you want to see our full recommendation and list of check off items you can see, just visit our website, newstudents.uiowa.edu, and there's a tab that says New Student Checklist. So you can very quickly see everything that we recommend you do before you start classes here as a first year student. Okay, so our next thing is that Success at Iowa opens August 12th. Like I was talking about earlier, we have our Becoming a Hawkeye in-person orientation program. We have SOAR, where you register for classes and meet with your academic advisor. And the next step is Success at Iowa. So this is a five-stage course, and this starts on August 12th and happens throughout the first 7 to 8 weeks of your first semester at the University of Iowa. The modules open for Success at Iowa according to when the information pertains to you and the part of this transition that you're in. So, for example, stage one is titled Prepare. Prepare is really kind of a broad overview of how you can be successful at the University of Iowa, what online tools you'll need to use, and all the different choices and opportunity that you'll have here. And that's kind of explained in deeper in that first module. So it makes sense that stage one is prepare as it's happening right before you come to campus and within your first week at campus. The next stage is stage two, which is discover. This lists out a lot of community and campus resources. So it's really when you're in the kind of heat of the transition, when you maybe need some extra support, whether that's from the Iowa City community or the campus community. It also includes tips for academic success. So before you're taking your first midterm, before your first quiz happens in your courses, stage two allows you to really prepare yourself and understand how you can be successful in the classroom and which resources pair with that. And then stage two also has Canvas tips and tricks. This is important as our Canvas is free and a lot of our students choose to use that Canvas service. So it just helps you to kind of learn and navigate the different routes that our Canvas takes. Stage three is experience. Experience, this stage really opens when you're kind of, getting into the bulk of things. You need some extra support. It tells you where to go for help. So you kind of talk about university counseling services, who you can rely on as your support network at the University of Iowa, and then also informs you on, what classes are like and what you can expect for future semesters. The next stage is stage four, and stage four is Excel. So this happens after you've already, been through some of the first weeks of the transition, and when you're ready to really keep up your successful habits that you've already started and maybe build some more. So this stage really helps you reflect on the first few weeks at Iowa and learn how to manage things that you've done well and overcome obstacles you may have already encountered. And then stage five, which is the last stage of success at Iowa, and this stage is persist. You consider choices that you've made so far and what you hope to do during your time. It's kind of a lot of reflection that happens as it is the closer to success at Iowa. And also, another thing that's really important that you learn how to do is to register for second semester courses. So this module really dives into now that you've already transitioned to Iowa, you're a student, you're in your classes, what will the rest of the 4 years look like, and how can you really navigate those 4 years in a successful manner?
Cool. Now we're gonna talk about move-in. Move-in can be super exciting and it can also be a very anxious time as well. Move-in does begin August 17th through the 19th for new students. We will have on Iowa leaders available to assist you with unloading your car. However, they will not be able to help you set up your room. That is more up to you. These leaders are just there to help you get everything out into the building, and then they'll move on and start helping the next family. The move-in process is very efficient and it happens quickly, at least getting everything into your room. If you have any more questions or concerns about that, we did host a webinar with housing and dining that is linked on this slide. You can also go to our website, which is newstudents.uiowa.edu, and there are two more webinars listed there as well from housing and dining. And then after move-in, we get to start with the fun on Iowa stuff. So, on Iowa events are events provided to our first year students. There's over 200 plus events that go that first week before classes start and after you move in. You will need to check in sometime during that week. So our check-in times are listed on this screen. It's on Sunday, August 18th from 11 to 4 p.m. and then Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. as well. You will check in on the second floor in the Iowa Memorial Union. There you will pick up a personalized itinerary that'll kind of help you guide you through the week, as well as your first year shirt that you can see everyone rocking in the photo down at the bottom. And then you also will just get other Iowa swag that will be helpful for you as well. So with these 200 plus events that we offer, you really have a lot of different chances and experiences that you can make, whether it's making new friends with people on your floor or just people you meet up with at these events. You can discover the university and really find out what it's meant to be a Hawkeye at the University of Iowa. It will also prepare to help you excel in your classes, and then you could also get the opportunity to just explore all the resources the campus has to offer, all the student organizations, and all the other organizations on campus as well. If you want to find more information on that, we do have a website linked there for On Iowa as well.
All right, so now we'd like to show a quick video and some on Iowa highlights from 2023 to get you all excited for what's to come in 2024.
I'm so excited that you're all here and you're part of what is going to be a great year at the University of Iowa. This is a place that you will quickly grow to call home, and that's what our goal is, that you're going to feel like this is the best place you could be, and you're going to find answers to all the questions that you have. I'm so excited.
So we'll go through some of the event highlights. Some of these might have been featured in the video, others might not have. So on Monday, which is the first day of the week, we start early with the coffee crawl, which is you get to go downtown around campus area and explore all the different coffee shops that there are, and some do give out free samples as well. We also have a paint and snack event. You saw a video of canoeing the Iowa River, a facts and folklore tour around campus that talks about historical facts and why some Iowa traditions are the way they are, and then the Spirit Night as well. On Tuesday, they did just build a brand new challenge course on campus, so you have the chance to explore that. There's a cooking workshop. You can go roller skating. There are theaters around Iowa City as well that you can go visit on a theater crawl. And then that is also our night at Hancher, which has silent disco, and there will be an improv group and magicians there as well. All sorts of fun stuff at Hancher that night. Make sure to check that out. On Wednesday, we have our dessert crawl, which is just like the coffee crawl, but with dessert instead. You can go check out the campus recreation and wellness center. You can go explore the art and go on a literature walk downtown. You can explore the Iowa River Landing, which is a little bit farther off campus, but still a cool place to go check out. And then a big event that we have every year is bingo. This is a sold out event. It's packed. You have to wait in line to get in. So people are usually pretty excited for that. And then on Thursday, we do have a newer art museum on campus if you want to check that out. There's also the academic open houses. You can try to climb the rock wall that is in the CRWC. And then for our first gen students, we have a first gen fest, and then we do have the kickback and yard show on Thursday night as well. One thing I do want to mention is all these events are free to attend for students. You pay for these in your admission fee, so there's no additional charges. And then also throughout the week, every day we do have a hawk chase scavenger hunt going on, as well as there are open houses. There's What's It All About information sessions. And then there's also classroom tours where you can go and show your schedule to somebody, and they will help you find where all your classrooms are for that coming week.
There's a lot happening during the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of On Iowa Week, but that's definitely not the end for the week. So the next thing we want to touch on happens during various times on Friday, August 23rd, so that Friday of On Iowa Week. And this is really where checking in for On Iowa becomes important. Each student will be assigned to a specific Hawkeye welcome session that you will attend on that Friday of On Iowa Week. So to be able to see your time, make sure you check in for On Iowa and look at your itinerary, your personalized kind of agenda or schedule for the week to see which session you're a part of. Hawkeye Welcomes are really your first chance to talk with staff and faculty on our campus, and then also on Iowa leaders about successful behaviors to enact before actually starting classes the following Monday. Your Hawkeye Welcome will be 3 hours long. The first bit is in a large lecture hall, so similar to the bottom photo on the PowerPoint slide. And it's basically where you get to meet and hear from faculty within your department. They go over what to expect as a new student in their classes and department and how you can make sure you're on top of your studies from day one. Following the information from a faculty member, our team will dismiss you into small groups where you have the chance to hear from students that recently went through the transition experience and what tips and tricks they have for you as you begin classes in a few short days. This is a great opportunity to meet people within your major, usually, also typically within the residence hall that you're living in. And it also helps to ease nerves that you may have when thinking about attending classes the following Monday, especially if you're not used to any college level coursework. So make sure to check your itinerary at check-in for your Hawkeye Welcome time slot because this is a very important event to attend during On Iowa Week. And like I said, it does On Iowa Week doesn't stop after that Thursday. So after the Hawkeye Welcome small group sessions happen throughout the morning and into the afternoon, we start some evening activities on that Friday as well. So the first one is going to be kickoff at Kinnick. So this is also Friday, August 23rd, and it starts at 7 p.m. You'll walk over from your residence hall. So say you live on Stanley on the third floor. Everyone from the third floor of Stanley will walk over to Kinnick Stadium together, participate in many Iowa traditions, such as waving to the children at Stead Family Children's Hospital. But there'll also be a live DJ, fireworks, games, lots of free food and free swag. So just kind of a lot of fun events happening at Kickoff at Kinnick. It's also your only time that you're allowed to legally step foot on Kinnick turf. So I definitely recommend taking advantage of being able to go in Kinnick Stadium. The second event I'd like to touch on is Convocation. This happens on Sunday, August 25th. This is kind of your welcome from President Wilson, faculty, and staff on our campus, and it's a great kickoff to the academic year. You do have an opportunity to participate as the convocation speaker. So this is your class speaker that really just welcomes all the new students to Iowa and motivates you all for the school year ahead. So if you'd like to become the convocation speaker, you can actually submit your audition video on our website, newstudents.uiowa.edu. You can find all of the information on how to apply there. On Sunday, we also have the black eye photo happening directly after convocation. So students will sit on the front of the Pentacrest for convocation, and right after the convocation is over, they'll move to the back of the Pentacrest, as you can see in the photo of the black eye, and build that photo with their gold first year t-shirts on. This is another reason why you should check in for On Iowa. So you receive your gold t-shirt like every other student in the class and can be a part of this black eye photo. Make sure to actually wear that gold t-shirt on the correct day, Sunday, August 25th, to be there to take your class photo. The last activity that kind of wraps up On Iowa Week is the President's Block Party. So President Barb Wilson will invite you to the President's residence, where she'll have music, food, games, and just a lot of fun to kind of wrap up On Iowa Week and celebrate all that it is with transitioning to the University of Iowa.
To help you out with navigating on Iowa Week, there is a brand new app that will be launching on the 1st of August coming up here. We used to have Hawk Tools, but that is no more. We have the University of Iowa mobile app. This is kind of going to be your one-stop shop during on Iowa Week, but then also throughout your time as a student here on campus. Some of the features, such as you list your class schedule and the academic calendar right on the front page when you open it, so it's easy to navigate to that, especially on that first day when you're going to look for classes. You don't have to pull up different tabs. You can just access it through the app. You will have the ability to check the campus calendar and favorite events going on campus, and those will save to your home screen. It also gives you direct access to campus resources within the app, and you can access your MyUI through the app as well. And then there is also the campus map with directions on there. With On Iowa, all of our events throughout the week will also be posted on this app. So you can go ahead and look maybe a day ahead and you can look at all at Tuesday's events and go through, pick out which ones you want to attend, hit the star button next to them, and that'll be saved to your home screen as well.
Awesome. And our last little plug here is just to encourage you all to work with us. So if you want to scan this QR code, if you're interested in becoming an orientation leader, please do so. The orientation leader position is a paid position in the summer, but in the spring, you participate in a 3-semester hour course. You assist in the transition of all new students. So you assist us with becoming a Hawkeye, with some SOAR online programming, and also during On Iowa Week. There will also be a lot of opportunities in the fall semester to connect with us in orientation services. So whether you attend the student employment fair, you see us over email, or various recruitment events that we'll host this fall. This QR code is not the actual application for the job, but if you do fill out your name, your university email address, and your first year status on this application, you will have first dibs to the application when we actually open it. So we will send out the link to apply to the university email address that you use to fill out this Qualtrics form if you're interested. Being an orientation leader really comes with great perks, including gaining leadership experiences, being able to network with the campus community, and really working and honing in on your interpersonal communication skills. There are also a lot of opportunities to advance in our office after being an orientation leader. So whether that's becoming a team lead or an exec team member like Caleb, those positions are more elevated in our office. They pay more than a regular orientation leader and allow you to really develop skills that employers are looking for post graduation. Caleb, I'm gonna go ahead and tap on you for a second. What was your favorite part, maybe about being an orientation leader or on the exec team, and why do you recommend it for first year students to participate in?
Yeah, like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, this is my third year working with the office. So I must like it if I keep coming back, I guess. But I guess my favorite thing is really just the bond we get to create as a team and the relationships with your coworkers. I always say it's not work if you show up and have fun and you get to work with the people you like. It doesn't feel like work. Um, so really just like the relationship building as well as the leadership skills that you gain from this position. Um, I feel more confident in myself as a leader and I feel like I'm able to lead people better. I really learned what it takes to be a leader and developed skills that maybe weren't to the highest that they could be. And just the opportunities that I get through this position as well really keeps me coming back year after year. So.
For sure. We love having Caleb on our team. So definitely, if you're interested in becoming an orientation leader, please scan this QR code here and just fill out the short survey with your personal information. Also, though, we do have a volunteer opportunity within our office. So this is becoming an On Iowa leader. On Iowa leaders work specifically with On Iowa Week. So if you are looking to volunteer, we usually have over 100 students each year that assist us as an On Iowa leader. They help with move-in, different On Iowa events. So they help us work bingo and manage all the prizes. They help us, with canoeing the river, making sure people get from point A to point B. They also attend kickoff at Kinnick and get a lot of free swag and items as an On Iowa leader. So if you're interested, you can receive up to 40 hours of volunteer work with this experience with this position. So if you're going to be a part of fraternity and sorority life and you need volunteer hours, or if you're thinking about grad programs and need volunteer hours to prove experience, anything like that. If you're interested in becoming an On Iowa leader, we will send information to all students' emails during the spring semester. So not until spring of 2025. But definitely take a look out for all of the emails we send from orientation services about being an orientation leader or about becoming an On Iowa leader. Okay, so it looks like we have a few questions in the chat before we wrap up today's webinar. Caleb, would you like to talk about what the mobile app is called?
Yeah, the mobile app, I might not have mentioned it. It is just called the University of Iowa app. Again, you won't see that in the App Store yet. It hasn't been released until August 1st. I luckily have been given the chance to test it out, and it is a really good app, and I suggest downloading that and using it throughout that first semester and first or throughout your whole college experience. I'll probably still use it. Um, and then there is also a question about parents having access to the app. I don't know about that for sure. I know for students, you do have to sign in with your Hawk ID and password, and that's how it personalizes everything, and it's able to give you your class schedule through there. Um, Again, the app still hasn't been released. We still don't have full access to it, and so I'm unsure about if it will be only for students or if parents will have access as well.
Yeah, thanks, Caleb. I think this is a very student-specific and student-centered app, as it does really revolve around, your class schedule and things that are really personalized to the student experience here at Iowa. So I think it's primarily meant for students. You can always reach out to us, and we should have more answers about the app following August 1st. But I just wanted to bring us back to this slide because the in the little graphic on the right-hand side, in the bottom right, you see the block IOWA. That's what the cover of the app will look like when it launches on August 1st. So you won't see that in the App Store right now because it's still July. But if you check back on August 1st, It should be available by 8 a.m. on that day. You should be able to log onto your app store and search up the University of Iowa, and that should be the first app that pops up. So make sure when you're downloading apps, you look for that app on the bottom right-hand side of the screen there. That is just the block IOWA. That's what the app will look like. Okay, I think we've got all of our questions answered. If you all think of anything else, please send it into the Q&A. But you can also connect with us following this webinar. So if you've missed any information this summer regarding campus offices, resources, maybe you have questions about your class schedule and how your SOAR appointment went with your advisor, please contact us. I have our number listed on the screen and also our email address. You can also find any webinars that we hosted this summer with our Topic Tuesday webinar series on our website, newstudents.uiowa.edu. And there's a specific tab on the website that says 2024 webinar series. So we hosted a lot of webinars this year with rec services, with IVETs, with financial aid and billing, lots of information out there. So please take a look at our YouTube page and kind of interact with those campus offices before it comes time to start here at Iowa. You can also follow us on social media to see bits of move-in and on Iowa Week. Our Instagram and Facebook pages are just orientation services. So if you look us up, you'll definitely be able to find us and go ahead and give us a follow. And so you can see some photos and some videos and some media from on Iowa Week. If you have any questions, feel free to stick around, type them in the Q&A. But thank you all for joining us today, and go Hawks!